Good afternoon to everyone with us. Thank you, Sunita. It's my pleasure this afternoon on behalf of the board to be with you just for a few moments. First of all, to say thank you to the management and staff of the NTA for hosting this e-convention. We have to thank God that we had the resourceful and resilient workers on the staff who could have recognized that although we couldn't meet physically, there was this fantastic opportunity to meet virtually and to have the convention as we had planned. We've looked at the registration over the last few days, and we've had almost 300 persons logging on and participating in the convention. That's been amazing. We have received a lot of telephone calls and messages by email as well, encouraging us to do more of this in terms of communicating with our stakeholders. So I'd like to say thank you to the management and staff, very hardworking staff. I'd like to say thank you as well to our presenters without whom we couldn't have had the convention, beginning with the keynote address from Professor Brian Copeland at UE, and so many presenters who were here as well from the region, internationally, and our local presenters. Our entrepreneurs today did, of course, a very, very remarkable job in terms of communicating what their personal journeys would have been like in terms of building their own entrepreneurial activities. So this afternoon, what I would like to do very briefly is to speak to you about what you can expect from the NTA in the months to come. So there are several initiatives, and some of them Patrice would have been speaking about a short while ago. We talked about the Record of Achievement. The Record of Achievement is really a very innovative product in terms of what the NTA is offering to Trinidad and Tobago, and the difference it can make in terms of what employers see when they are faced with student records or transcripts. They look normally at a list of subject areas or a list of qualifications that would have been earned. This gives the employer the view of the skills that the graduate possesses. And so they're going to be able to see not just what people learned or what they studied, but what they can do with those skills. And we have, of course, launched that during this convention, and we're looking forward to graduates going online, looking at how they can view their records, and moving from that, we'll be able to then interface with employers who are interested in looking for specific skills and direct them in terms of how they can use the Record of Achievement. So this is one of the things that we are hoping to expand in terms of the coverage over the next few months. You'll also be hearing more about the National TVET Research Council. And in terms of TVET development in the country, there is a lack of data. Data in terms of skills demand, data in terms of labor market demands, data in terms of understanding what skills we need to foresight for in terms of the development of industries as we move forward. And so the National TVET Research Council, in which NTA will play a very significant role, has the responsibility to put forward a national agenda in terms of research, in terms of data collection, that can help the country in terms of determining what we do with our human resource and how we ensure that the human resources are adequate for the development, the social and economical development of the country. We talk next about the certification system for TVET practitioners. And one of the things during the recent lockdown was that people recognized how much they needed to have access to their hairdressers and nail technicians and barbers and plumbers and so many other persons who are actually practicing their craft in terms of technical and vocational education and training. And in a number of the areas, such as the working with the electricians or with the plumbers, we have a licensing regime where persons will acquire the skills, undergo some kind of assessment, and be licensed to practice within that particular skill area. There are a number of other areas that are unregulated and in which practitioners are now looking to some sort of regimen that will allow them to assess the skills of persons who are practicing in those areas and award some kind of badge that will be a proof that the person is competent to practice in that particular field. And so we've developed a system that will allow for this. We've already engaged some practitioners in key areas, And we are inviting persons who are practicing their skills in the TVET areas to contact the NTA and to work with us in terms of developing certification systems for their own area of practice. This has the impact, of course, of improving the competence of persons who are actually given a badge to practice in a particular area. Then we look at quality assurance. The Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago has the responsibility for quality assurance and accreditation of providers who are offering post-secondary education and training. But for those who are offering TVET in areas that are not post-secondary, there is no regulatory system at the moment. The National Training Agency has a system that provides assurance of the Trinidad and Tobago vocational qualifications as well as the Caribbean vocational qualifications. But we are now expanding the NTA's remit in terms of the other TVET providers who may be offering their own qualifications. And so we will be offering a quality assurance process for those providers who are offering TVET qualifications that are not at the post-secondary level, which would be covered by the ACTT. And so we are hoping to engage all of our providers in this. In doing so, we speak about greater collaboration with the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago. The ACTT has been engaged in discussions with the National Training Agency. We are looking at collaborating with respect to the quality assurance of technical, vocational education and training programs at all levels. So we expect to see this collaboration strengthen in the months to come. One of the outputs of that relationship with the ACTT is, of course, the development of a comprehensive national qualifications framework. And what this will do is to actually provide a seamless pathway for progression from preschool right up to university level. Every aspect or every level of education will be pegged on the national qualification framework so that you can understand what the entry requirements are, what the exit points are, what you can expect of persons who achieve a certain level of qualification, and it will assist also in terms of the mobility of our students from one level of qualification to the next, regardless of what institution they go to, or whether it's actually local or regional, because the national qualifications framework will also be aligned to our CARICOM qualifications framework. We talked a lot about our Unibox Centre and the fact that the National Training Agency has been recognized by UNESCO as an international Unibox Centre. And one of the things that we'd like to focus on is the providing support for the professional development of our TVET instructors. And we've already engaged our TVET instructors. You've had the opportunity to see presentations by some of them during the convention. And so we hope to provide more opportunity for them in the next few months in terms of their professional development. The focus will be to a large extent as well on providing them with skills to navigate this new environment, which is an online environment. We've all been forced into what we call an emergency remote teaching mode because of the COVID lockdown. But emergency remote teaching just means that you've gone into an emergency mode where you have no choice but to deliver your training online. You now have to move from that to a systematic approach to the delivery of online training. And so the professional development is important to move in that direction. We've had a number of webinars, and we've had a lot of interest in our webinars as well over the last year. And so we're going to be ramping up what we do in terms of the webinars, increasing the range of topics that we cover, and also seeking to encourage and to involve more persons to participate in those webinars, which is really a public awareness and public education forum, as well as something that targets professionals in the field of TVET. And we have a very exciting I Am TVET campaign, which is going to be launched fully very soon, which will really focus on providing the impetus for increased entrepreneurship and employability skills for young persons in particular. So we will try to relate the programs that are available in the many institutions that we have in the country to the skill development that is required for the economy at this point in time, and also provide for young persons the encouragement and the stimulus to get involved in their own businesses, as we've seen so many persons talking about that today. And finally, we are going to launch our new national apprenticeship system. This is one of the things that we've been working on for a very long time. We've had apprenticeship schemes all through the years, but in this case, it's going to be a national apprenticeship system. We have already engaged our Ministry of Education. We've had the necessary approvals to move forward with this project. And so we're going to keep that one in our pocket today, but we will give you a lot more information on what to expect. Let me say that it's going to be a partnership similar to the one that we have in terms of this board that governs the NTA between government, labor, and private sector. And we've already spoken to partners. As a matter of fact, I can say that one of the proponents of this new national accreditation apprenticeship system has been a member of the NTA board who represents the Oilfield Workers Trade Union. I'd like to really acknowledge Mr. Lincoln Ramlochan for the way in which he has been the one to push this idea forward with the board, to get the support of the board, and to also pledge the OWTU's commitment to engaging in the new national apprenticeship system as we move forward with it. So we're very thankful for that, and we look forward to bringing that to members of the public. And finally, we need to say that in all of this, the NTA will be working to strengthen our international partnerships, our regional partnerships, and our strategic partnerships nationally. You've seen during this convention that we've already engaged with the Human Resource Association of Trinidad and Tobago, HUMAT, in launching the Record of Achievement. We have a number of local partners who have sponsored the convention as well. Regionally, we've been interfacing with the CARICOM Secretariat. The CARICOM Secretariat has actually recommended the NTA as one of the agencies to participate in a project that UNESCO is hoping to pilot in the Caribbean very shortly. And we are in discussion with our Ministry of Education on that. So in the next few months, you will hear more about our collaboration with the Commonwealth of Learning, with the UNESCO, and also with the support of the CARICOM Secretariat, and of course with a number of local partners. So I'm very happy to say that the NTA is alive and well. The NTA is pursuing its mandate as it never has before. The NTA will continue to engage all of our stakeholders at the national and regional level. And all we ask is that you continue to have confidence in us, continue to have faith in us, continue to collaborate with us. It's very important for us to maintain that engagement with our stakeholders. And so we look forward to feedback from the stakeholders. Even on this convention, we will have an assessment of the convention through by using the survey method to get feedback from you on your participation in the convention. We have a beautiful convention booklet, which make sure you get a copy of it. In that convention booklet, you'll also see greetings from our Honorable Minister of Education, Mr. Anthony Garcia. And you will also get information on all of the presenters who have been with us for the last 3 days of the convention. So, ladies and gentlemen, stakeholders, colleagues, friends in TVET, I want to thank you very much on behalf of the board for participating and staying with us over the 3 days, and we look forward to a continued relationship with you. Thank you very much.